For 2 years, I was stuck in self-improvement depression. My growth wasn't exponential. My growth wasn't even linear. My growth was sinusoidal. I would be meditating, journaling, going to the gym, working on my business, avoiding all the bad habits. But then, just as it looks like I'm finally making progress and getting into that sweet exponential growth, the bad habits would creep back in. I'd stop being consistent and I'd fall back into my old ways. I'd fall deeper and deeper into self-destructive behavior, getting depressed, hating myself, until eventually it all just becomes too painful for me to continue down the slope. I then snap out of my rut, motivated to fix my life, just for the whole cycle to start again. Now, after 2 years of misery, I'm finally out of that self-improvement depression. I'm now finally getting that sweet exponential growth that I've always wanted. I'm working relentlessly on all of my goals, just living a good life, and I have no more self-sabotaging. I'm only working in one direction, and that's up. I'm no longer pulling myself down. I realized that there was one singular thing that kept me in self-improvement depression, and if I was just to get rid of that, my growth would become exponential. So if you want to know what that thing is, stick around, it might save your life. The first biggest mistake that I made is I was overloading way too quickly. I would be doing meditation, for instance, and I've never meditated before. Maybe I should start with only like 1 or 2 minutes of meditation. But instead I tell myself, no, I need to do 20 minutes. I'm too good for this. 2 minutes is too little. It's not gonna do anything. So I do 20 minutes of meditation. And it's quite difficult if you haven't meditated ever, or if you haven't meditated in a very long time. And I drag through it. Tomorrow I say, okay, no, we need to do 21 minutes of meditation. You do 21 minutes, then 22 minutes, 23 minutes. But eventually you just get so fatigued because it's too much. For a while you can maintain it, but it's above my current level. It's like going to the gym for your first day and then immediately going into a 2-hour super intense workout. And on your first day in the gym, you should probably just mess around with weights, just getting used to the habit of going to the gym. And then tomorrow you do a little bit more, then a little bit more, slowly work your way into it. But instead I was just trying to go all the way to like level 10, even though I was like at level 0. So eventually I would just like snap out of it and it's too much for me, I can't continue on. And then I'd like not do it for a while, and then I decide, oh, okay, we need to meditate again. Then I tried doing it again. So this was one of the things keeping me back, but it definitely wasn't the main thing. And the reason that I did this was just ego. Like I thought, I'm too good for this, I need to do more. My ego genuinely held me back because I thought I was too good for these little things, just starting off small. But starting off small and working your way up is way better than just trying to start at the top. The second problem was I'd always snap back to some baseline. I'd be trying to improve my life. I'd say, okay, let's start working on a business, start working out, start journaling, start meditating. And then I'd build these things up. And then at some point it becomes too much for me, or life gets hard and I just stop. And I fall back to this specific baseline. And this baseline is where you see your identity at. When some activities you're not willing to stop doing. Like even though you're in a rut or you're depressed, you will still get out of bed. You'll still make your bed. You'll still brush your teeth. Now that might not be the case for you, but those are like the things that I'm not willing to fall below. Because you tell yourself, no, I can't go below this level. This is like the lowest I'm willing to go. For me, the gym was also one thing I wouldn't go below. So even when I'm depressed or I'm in a rut, I'd still go to the gym because I told myself, no, this is part of who I am. I work out. Like I am somebody who takes care of his body. It was so deeply ingrained in my identity that I wouldn't let go of it even when my life got super hard. But the other things I would let go of. And that brings me to the point of what the problem was. I wasn't ingraining things into my identity. I'd solely focus on the activity instead of making it part of my identity. And that was also a big issue, but then we get to the real culprit. The biggest issue of all was pornography. That is the single most destructive thing that kept me back, kept me in this hellish cycle of not making any progress for like 2 years. Now, I said my growth was sinusoidal Okay, it would go up and down, up and down. But it was probably more like, I don't know what function you'd call it, but it would go up, then fall, up and fall, up and fall. It's because I'd be doing the good habits, be going to the gym, journaling, meditating, eating healthy food, and then at some point, and I wouldn't be watching porn, I wouldn't be fapping, then at some point I'd relapse. And when I relapse, all of my other good activities, good habits, healthy behavior would relapse with it. I'd fall back to just unhealthy, degenerate behavior. And I never really understood why that was. So I finally figured out why pornography pulled me down so much. Like, why would all of my good behavior relapse with nofap? I figured out it is something to do with the law of consistency. Humans want to be consistent with their identity, consistent with themselves. So I'd say, I don't watch porn. I'm too good for this. This is low-class, degenerate behavior. I take care of myself. I love myself. I want progress. I want growth. But then I still do this thing. I still watch porn. And my brain's like, what is going on here? I said I wouldn't do this thing, and I'm not the type of person who do this thing, but I just did it. So now after you relapsed on porn, you have this sense of shame and you feel bad about yourself. Now you tell yourself, okay, it's time to go meditate. Now you can suddenly get this strange internal conflict where your brain's like, meditate? You want to meditate? Why do you want to meditate? Somebody who meditates cares about his mental health. You just watch porn. How can you watch porn, which is bad for your mental health, and you know it's bad for your mental health, and then you want to meditate? This is an inconsistency. You need to choose one or the other. You can't have both. So now my brain says, no, you can't meditate. You're not this type of person. You just did this thing, and this thing proves that your identity as somebody who doesn't care about his mental health. This is very, very important to realize. Water break. My own brain wouldn't allow me to do the right things because it wanted me to be consistent throughout my behavior. It wanted me to be perfect, like give my everything or give my nothing, but I can't like have these conflicting behaviors. Now that's like my theory for why it is. I'm pretty sure it's right, but there's also some more scientific things at play. For instance, dopamine desensitization. When you watch pornography, it's incredibly stimulating. So your brain gets used to this high level of stimulation. And now you have to go work in your business. And your brain's like, nah, this thing doesn't give me enough stimulation. I don't want to do this. This is boring. And the second thing is pornography impairs your judgment. So normally, if your brain is like in a completely healthy state, you can think about the future. You can think about delayed gratification. Your mind thinks, okay, I want to watch YouTube Shorts because it's more stimulating, but I know that I have to work on my business because I need to build myself a future and I want to live a happy life in the long term. So I'm instead going to work on my business. But now your judgment gets impaired by pornography. Your brain's just like, nah, let's just think about now. Right now, watching YouTube Shorts is much more fun. Let's do that instead. So now you don't have the motivation to do the right thing, and you also don't even have the correct thinking to want to do the right thing. So you just do the wrong thing. Eventually, I managed to overcome this terrible addiction. And how did I do it? Well, I'm sure you've watched countless nofap videos. And I'm also pretty sure they didn't help you. So I can tell you straight up, nofap did not help me at all. Nofap kept me stuck. You see, nofap cannot save you from porn addiction. Nofap is only a temporary distraction to get away from it for a while. Okay, that's why they have streaks. That's why they have relapses. It's like, day 29, guys, going good. Why does he count the days? Because he knows he's gonna fail. You see, nofap isn't designed to change your mind about pornography. Okay, here's a nofap ideology. You say, well, if I'm alone at home at night, then I'm gonna get an urge and then I'm gonna relapse. Therefore, I shouldn't be home alone at night. Okay, fair enough. So you make sure that you're not home alone at night. Make sure you don't have your phone with you or your computer with you or something. I mean, for a while it works. Maybe you can do it for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months. But it's only a matter of time until you get into some external circumstances that you cannot control, and then you relapse. But you see what's the problem? You're trying to control your external circumstances instead of fixing your own brain. Think about it. If you're home alone at night and then you watch porn, it means that your brain sees some kind of value in porn. Wouldn't it just be better to get rid of that association? To get yourself to realize that you don't want pornography anymore? When you say, I want to stop watching porn, and then you go watch porn, it means your brain still believes that there's some kind of value in it. So what is the process of quitting a job? You'd say, well, I found a better job that pays me more. So I'm gonna go to my boss, I'm gonna tell him that I'm leaving this job because I found a better position somewhere else. Okay, then I just leave, take my things and apply to the new job. I wouldn't have to resist the temptation of going back to my old job. I wouldn't have to make sure that I now have a different route that I ride with my car to work, because maybe I'm going to see my old office building and then I'm just going to have this massive urge to go back in there and reapply for my old job. Of course not. That makes absolutely no sense. Well, the process of quitting an addiction is the exact same. Only reason that you go back to old behavior is because you think it's the best option. You might say, no, this is what are you saying? Like, I'm addicted, like it's forcing me to do it. You could say technically addiction doesn't even exist, because addiction does not have the ability to take your free will away. Okay, think about the last time you watched porn. If you watched porn, like, you consciously decided to do it. You were thinking, oh, this would feel good, let's go do it. You chose to do it because you saw value in it. And as long as you see value in it, you will continue to do it. So the process of quitting is just entirely psychological. There is no strategy. There's no actionable steps. It's not that you need to avoid your triggers and take cold showers and go outside more and speak to people and get a girlfriend. You just realize that, oh, there's a better option than this thing. Let's go do that instead. Now, I'm not going to explain how to quit pornography in this video because it is very, creating psychological change is a very vigorous process. You're trying to rewire your brain. We need to change your beliefs, change your associations, get you to rewire your identity. This stuff isn't going to be facilitated within a 15-minute YouTube video. So stick around to the end of the video and then I'll tell you what you should actually do, like a more in-depth guide on how to do it. As soon as I quit pornography, everything else in my life pretty much just fell into place. I automatically started doing the good habits. I automatically started taking care of myself. I automatically started focusing on my future. It's literally all it took to get out of that depression was just to quit pornography. So, if you want to quit, if you're still addicted to it, I'm actually creating a full guide on how to quit porn. It's not going to be some no-fap advice video. It's going to be like a 3-hour-long guide going through the psychological changes that you need to make to actually get free. It's going to be so good that it's literally impossible for you not to be free from porn after that guide. So if you'd be interested in that, subscribe, because I'm still working on it. I'm going to be working on it for like a month long, 10 hours a day. This thing isn't like, I'm not playing around. This is serious. Until then, you can go in the first link in the description. We've got a Discord. If you want some of my own coaching. Right now I am doing free coaching. My channel is still very small, so right now I'm just like putting in a little bit more effort. I'm going to be doing free coaching. In a couple of weeks from now, I'm going to start charging. So if you want some free stuff, Discord in the description. And until then, see you in the next video.